cultured butter and buttermilk. Hi guys, welcome back to Fast Forward. Today we're making butter, and all you need for that is standard cream. We got ours from the supermarket. It was reduced, so we used that one, and we're using our stand mixer just because it's convenient. It's not so much about the power, it is more about the speed and timing. Use your whisk attachment for this, and we put everything together. When the cream is still liquid, it is very recommendable to start slow, otherwise it will splatter. From here we simply increase the speed and create whipped cream. That's all we're doing at the moment. And from that fluffy nice whipped cream we're going to over whip it, and you will see a color change happening when it turns into that beautiful buttery yellow. You need to be close by and be prepared to suddenly turn down the speed, because the separation of fat and liquid will happen very suddenly, as you will see here, and that will splash. So we turned down the speed, and all you can see now is beautiful yellow butter clumps and the liquid that has separated. And congratulations, you've made butter. So this is the main step already done. As you can see, it doesn't look that tidy, so we're going to tidy the whole thing up by separating the liquid, and we're saving it into a big glass bottle.
This is where a lot of butter guides get it wrong. The milk that you pour off is not buttermilk. It is actually skim milk or low-fat milk. You have taken out the fat, and what you have left is a low-fat milk. You can use that in your tea.
At this point, the butter still holds traces of milk, and milk is the part that spoils first, so we need to wash the butter. Cold water firms the butter fat, while the remaining milk dissolves and washes away. Ice water works best, especially in summer. So we knead it and press it and dip it again in the water. You can see that the water is turning a little bit milky. I break it up into workable portions. So as you can see, there's still some milk coming out. What remains is mostly butterfat, and butterfat keeps far longer than milk ever could. Clean butter lasts longer, and it also tastes cleaner too. At this stage, we have formed our butter logs. This is how we do it. You can form it into every shape you want. We wrap it in just simple baking paper and form it into logs, and then wrap it up and put it in the freezer, just like that. Depending on how fat your cream is, your yield will be somewhere around the 50-50 mark from 1 liter of cream. You might have heard of cultured butter before, or even tasted it. This is what we're making here. So this is the fancy cousin of our standard butter. We pour a liter of cream in a jar, and all we add is a mesophilic starter. It doesn't matter so much how much you add. In this case, we have like a 16th of a teaspoon. It's a powdered culture. A 16th of a teaspoon is just enough for 1 liter of cream. It guarantees that no other cultures can take over, but it also doesn't let you waste any culture that you could use for future batches. We stir it in so everything is nicely dissolved. Just make sure that there's nothing swimming on the surface. And then we cover everything with a little bit of cheesecloth and tie it down so no flies or anything can get to it. And we leave it sit on our kitchen bench at room temperature. Sometimes the room temperatures in New Zealand can reach up to 25, 28 degrees, and that's perfectly fine. It will just, the warmer it is, it will speed up the process, so keep an eye on it. After 2 days, we checked it, and you will see it has a beautiful thick consistency. It is now crème fraîche in the traditional sense. Look at this. Yum. You could use it like this, and our cat agrees. She thinks it's perfectly fine at that point. But we're going to go one step further, and we're basically going to process it the same way we did in the first part of the video where we just made butter. So we're going to add it to our stand mixer and whip it. As this already has this beautiful thick consistency, you can start the stand mixer actually on a little bit faster setting. It surprised us how fast it actually turned into butter. It went so quick, so be prepared to be close by. Here we go. That's the same as in the first part of the video. It looked exactly the same. The liquid separates from the fat. Beautiful. Nice and yellow. Here we have washed it already, and we did the same thing. We separated the liquid into our glass bottle, and this one we're going to give straight to our butter dish. The other one is wrapped up ready for being frozen. Nice.
When you churn cultured cream, that leftover liquid is buttermilk. It is sour, it's alive, and I wouldn't put that into my tea.
If you add oil, choose carefully. We prefer neutral oils that stay liquid in the fridge. There's ongoing discussion about seed oils because they're highly processed and they're high in polyunsaturated fats that are prone to oxidation. That doesn't make them poison, but they behave differently in the body and in storage. We use rice bran oil. It's neutral, it's stable, and it gives the butter a slightly warmer yellow tone. 5 to 10% oil by weight is subtle. 10 to 20% makes a clearly softer, spreadable butter. More than 20% and you're moving towards margarine. From about 480 grams of butter, we're adding 48 grams of oil-ish. That will make a slightly fluffy and more spreadable butter. We're trickling it in very, very slowly. And it turns a little bit lighter in color just because you're whipping some air into it. It's very smooth, but it's also quite warm at that stage.
So,
Let's talk about butter.
let's talk about butter. So, in the video, we made 3 versions of butter, as we normally do. We had the normal butter, the modern butter, as we can say. We had the classic butter, like in the history, old traditional day, the cultured butter, which is basically the fancy cousin of the first one. And we had the butter with the oil. That's the very modern supermarket butter, we call it, because every butter that you buy in the supermarket actually has done it. I found out one thing that I really want to talk about. only because you buy butter in the supermarket and you think it's the same like you do here. It is actually not. If you look at the ingredients and you don't see that there's any added ingredients like oil or something, and you'll be happy, and it seems like a natural, healthy product, doesn't mean that they extract something. So I heard in the industry that they extract something like vitamin D out of the milk
Vitamin
before the
E.
vitamin E,
Yeah, vitamin E.
vitamin E out of the milk before they make the butter. So it's already lacking something, which they not have to put on the label in it. So the butter you do here contains that vitamin or whatever they use for whatever skincare or supplement industries or something.
That's what I wanted to say. Vitamin E is an ingredient that you use quite a bit in skincare products because it extends the shelf life of oils.
There you go.
So yeah,
They take
and
that
it's
out of the
actually
butter.
quite expensive to buy it as an ingredient. So they
Yeah.
extract it from in the butter making process, and they don't have to tell you about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So make the butter at home, much healthier. Although it seems like it's the same product. Do that at home. Now, what did we find? What did surprise us is
I think it was the first time that we made the butter with the oil, with the added oil. And I was quite surprised how little you notice it.
Yeah.
So we tried it. We tried it actually in 2 different ratios. I think the video is only showing the 10% one, but we also did a 15 or 20%
yeah,
even.
we pushed it.
We pushed it to the limit. And I must say I didn't really notice the difference. You notice it when it gets softer. But when it comes straight from the fridge, it's not super spreadable.
No, it was still hard. So
Still
I
hard butter.
hate it when I have a toast bread, especially untoasted, and I can't spread the butter. That's still the case, and I was hoping that would be my key. From the taste, I really don't. I don't even taste much of a difference like tangy or something in the cultured butter, although they always say that, but I'm not really. The big difference is the liquid that comes over, the cultured buttermilk, as we learned now. That's naturally that's a big difference, and I like that product. I like
It's
it a lot.
definitely a benefit to culture your cream because you have buttermilk in the end and not skim milk, because skim milk is just
And it stores longer.
Yeah.
So the butter actually stores longer when it was called cultured before. It's an extra step though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would definitely use it, the oil one, for cooking. Although you don't increase your yield much, but if you do cookies or if you bake or if you use it in cooking in sauces, it doesn't make a big difference, but you don't spend as much on butter as on butter and oil. Plus, I do believe, call me crazy, I do believe it's a little bit healthier to eat a little bit less butter and a little bit more oil.
Is it though?
Yeah, I guess. My
Nah.
doctor says, Kay, my doctor says I should stay away from that butter. I love it too much, but you know, here's to Kay. I eat more oil now.
Not sure if that's what she meant, but fine. Yeah.
Are we doing it again?
Definitely.
Yeah, we do our butter ourselves now.
Yeah.
It's not much of a hassle. We just whip it up and literally, and there it is. It's new butter, and you always find like cream in a supermarket that is on sale.
Even if it's not, it's still cheaper if you don't count the time that you spend on it
and the energy.
Yeah.
And it's a curious thing that we have very low-fat cream in New Zealand. I think it's when I see other countries like Australia or the US or something, they have stuff like heavy cream, and this goes up to over 40% fat content. I think our cream here is 35. Sometimes I think they push it. I see it on the ratio how much we get.
Yield.
The yield, 400 grams is not much. 400 grams of butter versus 600 grams of buttermilk or skimmed milk, it shows you that the butter wasn't that the cream wasn't really fat, but you get what you get.
It's definitely, I mean, saving money on using cream instead of buying butter is definitely one factor. But if you want to increase the quality of your butter and the yield, go for the best cream that you can get. If it's just about that, get the best cream. Best way to get it would be go to your next door farmer if you have one and ask him for fresh cream. But I mean, obviously not everybody can do that. So I would, if I was only looking for good quality, I would opt for the best cream that I can find in the supermarket.
Yeah. All right, and then put oil in it to make more yield. Good oil.
Good oil.
Thanks to Kate. I would like to drink coffee now. How about you?
Okay,
Another coffee?
let's do it.
That's it. Bye, guys.
See you later.
Tune in later. Tell your friends and give us a thumbs up and subscribe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.